between 2 points. Okay, let's find the distance between each pair of points. So for number 1, we have point A is at 2 and 5. Point B is at -4 and 5. Recall that this is our x and this is our y. Sub 1 because they are the first ordered pair. And this is x sub 2 and this is y sub 2. Okay, let us plot the points in our Cartesian plane. So we have 2 and 5, 2 for x. We have positive 2 and then positive 5. So here it goes. So this is point A. Okay. And then we have -4 and positive 5. So -4 of x, positive 5 of y. Connect natin. Ayun. So here it goes. This is point B. Now since we are looking for the distance, so let us count number of units in between A and B. So from here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So from this point up to this point, that is 6 units. The distance is 6 units. Okay, let's move on to number 2. For number 2, we have 1 and 3 for point C, 1 and -5 for point D. So this is positive 1 and positive 3. So this is point C. And then for point D, we have positive 1 and -5 of y. So this is point D. Now again for the distance, so we have to count from this point up to this point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So from point C to point D, we have 8 units in between. Now, going back, balikan natin ang number 1. So what if we are not going to draw it or plot it in our Cartesian plane? So tingnan natin. 2 and 5, -4 and 5. So, kung mapansin natin, we both have 5 for y sub 1 and for y sub 2. In this case, we can say that our line or our ordered pair are horizontally aligned. Kasi pareho ang y at x lang ang nagkaiba. Kaya sa graph natin, pag kinonect natin yung point A sa point B, nagkaroon ng pahalang na linya, horizontal line. Now, in this case, it is easier to say that the distance is the absolute value of x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Okay? X sub 2 minus x sub 1. Try natin. Ang x sub 2 natin ay -4, tapos positive 2 ang x sub 1. Substitute ko muna. -4 minus positive 2. Yes. So we change the sign of the subtrahend and proceed to addition. Then we have -4 plus -2, which is -6. And the absolute value of -6 is 6. So we've got it correct. Okay. So let's try it for number 2. We have 1 and 3, 1 and -5. Pareho ang ating x. So, ang ating graph ay vertically aligned. Looking back, if we connect this point C to point D, ayan, naging straight line siya na pababa. Vertical line. So, in this case, y ang meron tayo, pwede natin tanggalin si x, na wala na yung x. So, yung y, ang formula natin ay distance is equal to the absolute value of y sub 2 minus y sub 1. So, try natin i-solve kung pareho ang magiging sagot natin. Let's have -5 minus positive 3. Okay. Y sub 2, y sub 1. So, -5 minus 3, change the sign of the subtrahend. Proceed to addition. -5 plus -8 is absolute value of negative 8, which is positive 8. So again, we have the same answer. Okay? So for the next two, you may pause the video and resume to play when you're done to check your work. Okay, so let's proceed. So we have negative 2 and 10 and negative 5 and 10. So what do we have in common here is our y's. So pareho ang y. Pwede natin cross out para mabawas sa kalituhan. Then, x ang meron tayo. So the distance is x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Absolute value. So let's solve. That's negative 5 minus negative 2. Okay, change the sign of the subtrahend. Proceed to addition. Negative 5 plus positive 2 will be negative 3. So this is negative 3. And the absolute value is 3 units. That's our answer. Next, last one, we have 7 and 3, 7 and negative 5. So we have same x here. So this is vertically aligned. So we'll get our y's. Absolute value of y sub 2, y sub 1. Solve tayo ulit. So this is negative 5 minus positive 3. Change the sign of the subtrahend. Proceed to addition. Negative plus. And this will lead us to negative 8. And the answer is 8 units. So that's it. That's how easy it is to find the distance given 2 points if they are horizontally or vertically aligned. But if not, that's a different thing. That will require us to use the distance formula, and that is to follow. See you soon. So let's talk about distance formula. But first, let us derive the distance formula. Okay, let's plot the points A, B, and C into our Cartesian plane. So first is 1 and negative 3. Of course, this is positive 1, and then this is negative 3. This is our point A. And then 4 and positive 1. So positive 4 and positive 1. So this is our point B. And then our point C is 1 and 1. So 1 and 1. This is point C. So next, find the lengths of segment BC, segment AC, and segment AB. Ito muna tayo sa BC. BC is this. So the length of segment BC is the distance between point B and point C, right? So since it is vertically aligned, pwede tayong magbilang na lang. So therefore, we have 1, 2, 3. So the length of BC is 3 units. Or if we do not have this, rewrite natin yung point B at point C. We have 4 and 1, and C is 1 and 1. Okay. Gamit yung ating previous lesson, so alam natin na kapag pareho ang Y, we shall get our X. So to use the formula, X sub 2 minus X sub 1, absolute value, right? So the distance is 1 minus 4. 1 minus 4, which is negative 3. And absolute value of negative 3 is positive 3. So we have the same answer, 3 units. Now, for letter B, the distance between A and C is the line segment AC. Yung length naman nito. This is A and C. So, by counting, pwede na siya kasi ito ay straight line, right? Straight line na vertical. So, from this point, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, this is 4 units. Again, try natin gamitin yung ating formula na nagamit kanina. So, rewrite natin ang ating values, ang ating ordered pair, A and C. So, that's 1 and negative 3 and 1 and 1. So, anong pareho? Yung X. So, we have positive 1 and positive 1 here. We're left with Y. So, Y sub 2 minus Y sub 1, which is absolute value of 1 minus negative 3, which is absolute value of 4, which is equals to 4. So again, pareho lang po ang ating nakuhang distance. Okay, so that means this is 3 and this is 4. Okay, 3 ang BC at 4 naman ang AC. Now, next is AB. That distance refers to this A to B. Ano daw ang distance niyan? Or ano ang length ng segment AB? Okay, as you can see, yung kaninang unang pair ng points ay vertically and horizontally aligned. And this is diagonal. So, we cannot count kagaya ng ginawa natin kanina. Okay. But, looking at our figure, nakabuo tayo ng right triangle, right? And this is the longest side. The longest side of a right triangle is C, and it can be obtained using the Pythagorean theorem. C squared is equals to A squared plus B squared. Or C is equals to the square root of A squared plus B squared. Since meron na tayong 3, let's label this our side A and this our side B. This side B. So we can now have our C having 3 as A and 4 as B. Compute tayo. Square root of A is 3 plus B is 4. Continue. 3 squared is 9 plus 4 squared is 16. And 9 plus 16 is 25. What is the square root of 25? Positive and negative 5. But since we are looking for the distance, we shall take the positive. So the distance between A and B, or the length of segment AB, is 5. Now, paano natin magagamit ang Pythagorean theorem or ang distance formula? Ano nga ba ang distance formula? Balik tayo dito. So, as we compute, okay, yung kaninang A, ginawa nating 3. Saan ang galing ang 3? Dito. And na-compute ang 3 gamit ito, di ba? So, pwede nating i-substitute ito, itong expression na to, into our A. Since ang meron lang tayo lagi ay ordered pair. Ordered pair tayo nagsimula. So, from ordered pair, x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And then, it was squared in the Pythagorean. Okay, plus. Our B here is 4. This is 4. Dito nang galing. Saan nang galing to? Dito siya nang galing. So, papalitan natin ang B na to ng y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. And this is our distance formula. D is equals to the square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. In our next example, we shall be using this distance formula. Okay? So, let us proceed. Example number 2. Okay. What is the length of the line segment whose endpoints are 11, 3, and 5, and 5? So, hindi siya vertically aligned, hindi siya horizontally aligned, kasi hindi pareho ang x, hindi rin pareho ang y. So, let us use the distance formula. So, the distance formula is the square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. And then substitute lang. So, much better that we label our given ordered pair. This is x sub 1. This is y sub 1. X sub 2. This is y sub 2. Okay. Then proceed to substitution. X sub 2 is 5 minus 11 squared plus y sub 2 is again 5 minus 3. Then squared. Proceed. And what is 5 minus 11? So change the sign of subtrahend, proceed to addition. So pareho lang. 11 minus 5 is 6. And that is a negative 6 squared. Plus 5 minus 3 is 2. And that is 2 squared. Let's proceed. 6 squared is 36. 2 squared is 4. Then add 36 plus 4 is 40. Okay, square root of 40. 40 is not perfect square, but we can express it into factors. Which one is a perfect square? 4 times 10 is 40, right? And 4 is perfect square. So let us extract the root of 4. Square root of 4 is 2. So the answer is 2 square root of 10. This is the answer. Or you may also calculate from square root of 40, square root of 40. So the answer would be 6.32. So pwedeng 6.32 units. Ayan. Okay? So that's first example using the distance formula. Now next example. What is the length of the radius of a circle whose center is at 3 and 2 and contains point -5 and -8? So, if ever magdodraw tayo ng Cartesian plane, ayan. Sorry, wala akong pambilog, pero gawin na rin natin. Our center for the circle is 3 and 2. So, 1, 2, 3, and then positive 2. So, this is the center. And pag ginawa daw yung circle, dadaanan daw niya yung 5 and 8. So, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is -8. Sorry if not that accurate. And positive, sorry, -5 lang pala. Negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -5, and then positive 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, dadaanan niya to. So, ang circle natin para magiging pa ganito siya. From here, pag ganun. Ayan. Ayan. Ang hanap natin ay yung radius. So, kung ito yung circle, it's not accurate. Kailangan natin gumamit ng compass. So, pwede na. Ayan. Ito. Ano daw ang length? Ano daw ang radius ng ating circle? So, if this our problem, okay, pwede na itong hindi i-drawing basta meron tayong ordered pair. So, 3 and 2 and -5 and 8. And so, let's use our distance formula. Let me write it once again. X sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. Okay, label tayo. This is x sub 1, this y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. Okay, and then substitute. So this is -5 minus 3 squared plus this is 8 and 2. 8 minus 2 squared. Proceed. -5 minus 3 is, change the sign of subtrahend, proceed to addition, naging -8 squared. Plus, 8 minus 2 is 6. So, this will be 6 squared. Continue. 8 squared is 64. 6 squared is 36. 64 plus 36 is 100. And square root of 100 is 10. So our answer is 10 units. So the radius of our circle whose center is at 3 and 2 that contains negative 5 and 8 is 10 units.